Hi everyone, Vegas from Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard, here to review Us, directed, written, and produced by Jordan Peele, starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Shahadi Wright, Evan Alex, and Elisabeth Moss. I have so many notes over here. This is a really difficult review. His follow-up to Get Out, which I thought was just brilliant. And now here Jordan Peele has given us another movie that's getting all of this country to talk, especially among the critics. To set up the film, we have a family that's on vacation, and Lupita Nyong'o doesn't want to go back to the beach because 33 years earlier, she was on that exact same beach and went into the mirrored house at the amusement park there where some sort of tragedy happened to her, where she wouldn't talk anymore, she wouldn't socialize anymore, and it just took years for her to come out of her closet, whatever traumatic event happened inside that hall of mirrors. And so when she's taking the family on vacation, the husband's like, hey, let's go back to that beach and that theme park. And she's just like, are you kidding? I just don't want to do it. Of course, they end up going there. They're going on the beach. And it's so cool. The little kid's wearing a Jaws shirt. And when they return home that night to their summer house, of course, there's a family that shows up in their driveway real late at night, and you don't see their faces. And of course, the father goes out there and confronts them with a baseball bat, saying, "What can I help you? What do you want?" And they just stand there, just in this statue-like state. Until one minute, they all disperse, and begins this home invasion movie that's horrific, that's bloody, that's suspenseful, that's thrilling, and they just don't understand where these people are coming from, and they find out it's themselves. And I'm not going to give any spoilers away. Trust me, there's plenty of them. I'm not doing anything that's not already in the trailer. So specifically, when the little boy says, Evan Alex says, "Who are you?" Well, we're Americans. He's like, they're us. Hence the term "us." And so then we proceed to just really have the most incredible social commentary and allegories that I have seen in a movie in a long time. And Jordan Peele says, look, Get Out was full of kind of social commentary, but this one pretty much is more straightforward horror. I disagree completely. After seeing this film, I was angry because I thought I was going into a really cool invasion movie and a horror film. There was so much more. There is so much subtext in this movie. There is so much imagery in this movie. There is so much pop culture references in this movie. This movie is layered like a 15-layer cake. And talking to different critics from around the country have been calling me and having these discussions with people who saw the press screening with me. And there is just so much going on in this movie. And it made me angry because I thought I was just going in for a simple spoon-fed kind of thriller. And that was anything but. It was nothing conventional about this movie. There was so much to talk about. You could teach a class on this film. And to begin with all the imagery that he has in this film, all the commentary and the subtext, and this thing is just filled with it. And right away, when the opening shot, we're closing in on television, we see videotapes. We see Chud. Before we see the videotapes, he has a little preamble before the film talking about how there's massive tunnels all over this country. Okay, and people living in there, and just there's tunnels, and people they've been closed off, or subway systems, and that's really a key element to the film, because when you have the first shot of the television and the videotapes, you see a copy of Chud. Remember that from the 80s? Cannibal Humanoid Underground Dwellers, The Goonies, and also The Right Stuff, which I'm not sure what that means. But the others are they're clues to what underlies in the film's themes and the message of the film. And so as we get there, we find out that these creatures, these doppelgangers, are all coming out of these sewers, or all coming out of these tunnels, and they're confronting the family with just sheer terror, but they can't speak except the mother. And just seeing them, they're these mirror evil selves. And I just couldn't understand, I thought it'd be a more simple thing, like there were reflections of their evil selves that came out after going into the Hall of Mirrors, but that wasn't it at all. There's a whole underlying social commentary and reason for all this is happening. And I don't, that's a spoiler. I'm not going to tell you why. But it's important that you go into this movie and not think linearly. Don't think A, B, C, point A to point B, because Jordan Peele does not do that in Us. Okay, it's very unconventional. You just want to, like I said, I was going in waiting to be spoon-fed a really cool thriller, and I got a lot more than that. In terms of casting, Lupita Nyong'o owns this movie. All these actors have to play doubles. They have to play themselves, and also they have to play their doppelgangers. And they're doing double duty. And Lupita has this incredible emotional range from fear to you name it. I mean, this woman is just incredible. And if they ever would consider giving Academy Awards to a horror film, she would be, you know, they're not going to, but she is right up there because it's just an incredible performance by her. And then you also have the father who's totally emancipated. He's just drives you crazy because, you know, he's not protecting his family. He's not doing anything he can. Yeah, he's holding a baseball bat, but this guy's a total noodle. Okay. And you're thinking in a situation where your family is going to be killed or in a life and death situation, you would give your life to save your family. And he doesn't do that. Yes, Peele puts all kinds of humor throughout the film to kind of give that levity, give you a breather moment. But even the humor is rooted in social commentary. Also, the Bible verse Jeremiah 11:11, which talks about the destruction of man, where God was going to kill mankind. I'm not sure the exact verse. I was going to read it, but I didn't read it. Yeah, you can look it up. Jeremiah 11:11. He uses those numbers also on clocks and throughout the movie to give the point where destruction of man is going to happen, where the America is ending. Okay, America's horrible past and bloodshed and carnage and oppression. And he let looses that at 11:11. Kind of like when the Amityville Horror, everything happened at 3:15. Well, everything happens here at 11:11. More allegories with the tunnels I spoke about at the beginning of the film. And I love the theory about how the title is Us, that he is making a play on the sci-fi film Them. Remember with the giant ants, where all the ants were from an atomic testing. They grew these giant size. They made all these tunnels going all the way, you know, into major cities. And of course, it was about them, which is an allegory of, you know, of communism and with the Cold War. This time, it's about us. You know, about our past and all of that. So it's just really fascinating what Jordan Peele is doing with all of these hidden Easter eggs and pop culture references about the demise of America and also looking at ourselves hiding in the shadows and not accepting our horrible past. So if you're not a fan of rabbits, rabbits are used throughout the film too. And also there's imagery in that. There's meaning in just about everything that he is putting up there on the big screen. There's a reason he puts it up there. And when you look at these rabbits, you know, 99% of them are white. And then you see some of the rabbits that are multicolored, you know, it's not a mistake there. And also just the lessons about America's past. I mean, that is just peppered throughout the whole film, you know, like I said earlier, that line, you know, who are you? We're Americans, you know, that's causing all this terror, getting their revenge. And, you know, it's just like, I thought of that Donald Glover song, you know, This is America, you know, so just, there's so much, you know, so it's just a web of intrigue in this movie. And not only that, I just thought that it was really important that you go into this with an open mind, you know, because I was totally caught off guard, and I have to see this movie at least once or twice more, definitely, because there was so much going through it. The Hands Across America references, the mirror, Hall of Mirrors she went to as a little girl was a Native American theme, and then when she came back to as an adult, it changed to a magic shop, magic theme. So there's just all kinds of just different things going on in this movie. Just to catch all of it requires multiple viewings. One of my favorite Easter eggs in the movie is the Corey Feldman references. I was doing some research on them because if you have the beginning of the film, you have the Goonies, and there's a line in the movie, you know, this is our time up there. So that's one Corey Feldman reference. The second one was The Lost Boys. They're back on Santa Cruz, at the same beach, same amusement park where they shot the film. And I didn't know what the third one was. I had to research it online. I'm not going to say what it was, but there's just so much in this movie that it's just criminal. It's just so much going on in this movie. So make sure you check it out. I think you're going to really like it, and make sure you look for all the clues and look for everything he's trying to say to you, and have a good time with it. All right, for more reviews and interviews, just surf on over to my website. I'll say that again. For more reviews and interviews, surf on over to my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Make sure you check out all my social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you comment below. Give me a thumbs up on this. Give me a like. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm Jeffrey Howard in Las Vegas. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.